We're gamers, we like games, we play games because we're gamers. We've got jobs, we've got lives, this is our hobby. Wait, what? Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is SuperLute Multi-Platform Monarchy. I am here today to talk about one of the tanks. I've covered healers so far, and I've covered at least one DPS. I'm going to cover more DPS in the future. These are videos that are coming in place between my gaming videos, so stand by if you're looking for those, but stick around if you want to hear something interesting. So, the hero we're talking about today is Hana Song, Diva, the tank in a mech. So she's got a very complicated kit. She's got her fusion cannons, which are a short to mid-range shotguns, but they don't have to reload. They're constantly firing, which makes them actually fairly annoying because it's a constant stream of fire. It may not be doing a lot of damage, but it's a pretty big distraction. And you might have a player that has a higher DPS moment come flying in. Diva can run DPS, but not all the time. Which brings me to her next ability, her micro missiles. This can annihilate someone at short range if you've got good aim. I do not. But that's the thing, if you've got good aim, her micro missiles are a force to be reckoned with. But on top of that, she also has her defense matrix, which, contrary to what a lot of people believe, is actually her mech molecularly disassembling incoming projectiles. If it has a physical structure, she can disassemble it. She can't block beams because they're not actually made of matter, they're made of light, generally speaking. But she can block anything that has a physical structure. She can destroy it. She can even down ults with her defense matrix. This thing is powerful, which is why it has such a short resource timer. But that's what allows Diva to remain in play for a long time, alternating between firing your main weapon and DMAT, waiting for your micro missiles to recharge, and then blasting away when you get them, and you have an actual target, which I didn't. I'm horrible for that. I'm just learning Diva, really. I've never really played her hardcore and actually focused. And I don't think I've mentioned her ultimate yet, and if I have, I'm sorry for mentioning it again. Her ability to detonate her mech, self-destruct. Nerf this. It is a very, very powerful ultimate in that it can more or less clear the field if you're not prepared. And it can come out of nowhere. Again, I'm not very good at deploying this thing, but I've gotten a few good spots. Scare people off the point. And it's powered by her power source, the fusion reactor on the forehead section of her mech. She overloads it, and it blows the mech up. You can actually do this while your mech is being destroyed, but you have to be quick about it. The other Diva managed to do that before I could get into mine, and it blew me up. So suffice to say, it's very effective to be able to get back in mech and to be able to blow it up right as you're blowing up. But that brings me into her playstyle. In order to play Diva well, you have to be willing to be in players' faces. You have to be right up front and personal, because those fusion cannons have such a short range, and the micro missiles are not hit scanned. They actually they take time to travel to a target. You have to be able to be close so you don't have a ton of travel time. Yeah, you can use them to snipe, but don't snipe with Diva, folks. Do not snipe with Diva. If you want to do a sniper, go with Widowmaker, Hanzo, or Ana. Do not snipe with Diva. She is an in-your-face tank. Tanks do not snipe. Unless you're Reinhardt. I've been sniped by Reinhardt. It's weird. But moving forward, so very aggressive playstyle. You must be close. You must be willing to sacrifice your mech for your greater good, which actually happened at one point. I just barely managed to survive an ult by getting into mech, and then the ult blew my mech up, and I popped back out, and then I died shortly thereafter. But in the hands of a good player, Diva is an exceptional tank, able to stay on the point and continue fighting for more than what you'd expect her to be, which is what makes sense because her personality is very stubborn. So it would make sense that she would see her mech's about to go down and she would skip town, wouldn't just die with her mech. She's not just going to give up. That also reminds me, she has a small pistol when she goes squish mode. They call it the light gun. It's got the same type of firearms. It's very similar to Mercy's pistol. It's just It fires faster and has more ammo. Actually, no, I think Mercy's. I don't know. I'll have to look at her clip. Anyway, she's got that, and that also comes into play style. Once you're out of mech, you have to be a little more cautious. You don't have armor. You don't have a ton of HP. She's a tank mostly because she's hard to take down, because that second mode really makes her hard to deal with. So yeah, no, that's kind of an overview of D.Va and how to play her. Now let's get into what powers the mech. Okay, so D.Va's mech is powered by a compact fusion reactor that, as I mentioned before, is on the forehead of her mech. This is what powers all the weapons, the thrusters, and the ultimate. This is one of the few heroes where everything about the mech is where everything about the hero's kit is actually visible, because it is a weapons platform, so to speak. Anyhow, so that brings us into the how realistic D.Va actually is. She's not that far off from being an effective hero, because I'm going to assume that her fusion cannons are just firing charged matter, because they do have, you know, they can be absorbed by the DMAT. You can absorb D.Va's pellets with the DMAT, because that's just it. Their pellets being propelled by a fusion reactor. So the shotgun aspect is reasonable. It's basically a shotgun that is semi-auto, and it is full auto because it spins. But I mean, each shotgun is semi-auto, reloading as it rotates around, and she has 3 of them on each arm, and it just cycles. And I'm going to assume that it cools off for a second, reloads, and then it's ready to fire again, rotates around, and it keeps doing that. So her main weapon's pretty realistic. The micro missiles are kind of realistic. They're obviously an energy type of projectile, but again, being powered by a fusion reactor, you can use energy projectiles. And then one last thing, her defense matrix is actually pretty reasonable, because it's her literally deflecting oncoming projectiles and taking them apart. It's not just that the defense matrix does it. It's that D.Va is actually shooting like micro lasers or something at things to just destroy them. You can take out Moira balls, you can take out junk grenades, you can take out anything that is a physical attack. You cannot block beams though, so Zarya, Moira, Winston, they can all fuck with a D.Va pretty easily. Oh, you also can't block Reinhardt's hammer. Good luck with that. But if a Reinhardt's close enough to you to hit you with your hammer, he's probably also about to hammer down. So yeah, I want to fly out with that one. But no, overall, I think that D.Va's the most realistic of all the tanks, more or less. If we suspend our disbelief a little bit to believe that she has a slightly more powerful power source, a compact fusion reactor, so that makes her fairly reasonable. If I were to give her a rating of 1 to 10, she'd be an 8 as a tank. The rest of the tanks are like 5 and below. Alright folks, so that's my discussion on D.Va here. If you have anything of interest to add, if you'd like to make any comments, apart from my gameplay, which I know is awful, I suck as D.Va, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. All 10 of you. But yeah, no, thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, and hope it got you thinking about D.Va. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Good night, and good luck.